Now, a component of this is we've been talking about an iNet connection. And that's something, my understanding is that it's not been decided on yet. And so I think we would need an alternate way to get you programming. If we're making a decision to send program to you, is it FedExing discs? Is it using the internet to transfer?
It's any way you'd like to do it.
Okay.
We require
so we'll put
DVD.
that into our
Yeah.
proposal.
Any program that's going out on the education government program, Soundview has to have a copy of. Okay. Now, there's two ways to do that. You duplicate a copy, you send us a DVD. You can mail it, you can walk it
That's
down.
going to end up being a lot of
Could be.
duplication.
Well,
right now, we don't send you
You don't
copies
send
at
us
all.
anything.
Okay.
You're not involved, but that's what's going to be required.
Right.
Okay?
And is that a DPUC requirement, or is that part of the funding?
Well, it's a thing where Soundview controls the channel 78 and 77,
Okay, now what kind of
78,
quality do you
79.
need? Because we don't necessarily, if it's quality for presentation, it's one thing, but if we also compress it to a certain thing, we can email it to you.
Right.
That is
Now, if it's
another-
not something that you're going to be showing, we could compress
No, we
it.
will, anything,
And there'll be dropped frames, but
Right.
still, with the compression.
You'll be
Put it
losing
on
2
YouTube for
frames,
you
you'll be
for that.
losing 2
Exactly,
frames every 30
but you won't
seconds.
be losing words or.
Right.
Can be injected.
You'll be losing, you won't,
it has to be, we need the program so it can be rebroadcast.
So you need
That's the
broadcast
purpose.
quality.
because
You need
It
broadcast,
has to be
quality.
broadcast quality.
broadcast quality is 29.9
Sure.
frames
All right, so
per
you need
second
broadcast
for
quality.
NTSC,
So we can't email.
correct?
So
Because
this
if we email-
is going to duplicate all the work, all the production
Come on,
work
pull
we're
in.
doing. We're going to double that work.
You
Right.
would, okay.
And if
So
we
the
compress
cost
it,
of
we'll be
that,
losing
though,
too.
can't be borne here. It's not in our budget at all. So the cost of duplicating discs is,
Well,
at
Sheila,
least while we're doing it.
if you want your programs to go out on 79, Soundview controls 79, not the municipality.
Well, right now, we can.
I know what you have right now, but you
Right.
don't control it as of January
Well-
1. You're doing it now, but that's
Yeah.
going to change.
Well,
But
now
let
who's
me make
making
it-
the decision to change? Because I think that entity needs to tell us where we're going to get the funding to do this.
Well, I don't think funding's
'Cause
a
we
real
won't
issue,
have it.
because
I
let me
mean-
give you the solution to your question that will be totally transparent, and it's not gonna cost you a dime. Right now, you're disseminating your information via your iNet, okay? Soundview does not have access to the iNet.
Right, and there's a financial cost to give you access to the iNet, and that's not
But that's,
something
but
that
that's
Woodbridge is
not,
going to have
that's
an
not
option.
Woodbridge's, that's
Right.
not Woodbridge's
Right.
problem.
Right, so there's nothing we can do to get you access.
Oh, yes, there is. Yes, there is. Right now, Cablevision has delegated to the advisory council the authority to make the recommendation on who can have an iNet site. Okay?
But we're not the advisory council.
I know you're not, but you are. You're on the
One-
advisory
one,
council.
uh,
He's
tenth
the-
of it,
but
how many
here-
members?
but let me share this with you, and hear me out. We would suggest, for the benefit of the town and for the most cost efficiency, that the Cable Advisory Council make the recommendation that Soundview be a receive site, a receive iNet site. Cablevision has never indicated that it would refuse Soundview to be an iNet site. That came from the Cable Advisory Council.
My understanding, though,
And
is that
there- wait, let me finish.
Cablevision
Let me
has
fi-
put up, the cost is a hurdle, and the DPUC has agreed that the cost
That's
is a
correct.
hurdle.
But that receive site will probably be borne by Soundview, that cost. That's why, it's not gonna cost the towns a penny. However,
Well, either
it's
way
the
we slice
Cable
it, it's not gonna
Advisory
cost the
Council
town.
that makes the recommendation to Cablevision on who can be an iNet site.
Well, I think that's a negotiation for
So-
cable advisory, if you
Exactly.
get in front of them and make your case.
But let me
And our
finish.
representative.
But I would hope that the municipality, through their advisory council, can make such a recommendation, because absent that, the municipality is going to have to make the copies of the programs that they want to go on to Channel 79.
I think that tonight, we're the Government Access Television Commission, and insomuch as we have a representative from Cable Advisory Council, he's here to advise us, and it's really not the other way around, as I see it, from our commission. We don't have anything in our bylaws that say that we try to exert any kind of influence on the Cable Advisory Council. I'm sure that there can be conversations, but I don't think that this commission can take any action.
Well,
And I
it's
wouldn't
the
want the
first, no,
commission to.
and I'm not looking to get, that is really a way that can do that, because by us having that, all we have to do
But
is
if it's outside of our ability to influence as a commission, we don't have a mandate to try to influence the Cable Advisory Council. What we do have a mandate to do, though, is to make the government access channel affordable for the taxpayers of Woodbridge. We cannot incur new cost in this
We're
fiscal
not
year or
asking you
next
to do
fiscal
that,
year.
and there would not be. What you can do, and I
So when we
believe
make
it's,
the proposal about how we're gonna get programming to you, there will be a cost for duplicating the disk, it will be the labor cost and the actual cost of the disks, and it will be the FedEx charge or courier charge,
Mhm.
whatever it is, and it can't, I don't foresee it coming out of Woodbridge taxpayer pockets.
okay.
Because what does come out of the taxpayer pockets in Woodbridge, any cable subscriber, who are the only people who can benefit from this, they've already paid the fee, which is what funds Soundview.
Okay.
So the money is already come out of the Woodbridge taxpayer's pocket. Every cable subscriber has put money somewhere into the equation, whether DPUC sees fit to have part of that 60,000 or another portion of the fee that's coming out of Woodbridge carry the cost of getting the discs.
So in
What-
fact, Woodbridge taxpayers would have to pay twice, which is.
Right.
Exactly.
We're not gonna,
Well,
What
this
I'm,
commission
what
is not
I,
gonna suggest.
let me back up a minute. I do believe, since the first selectman appoints the Cable Advisory Council reps, that a
One
recommend.
of the reps, the Board of Education
And,
appoints us.
well, whoever the appointee is,
Mhm.
I would hope that they could make a recommendation to the advisory council of what they would like. I think that is,
Something that the
that we
first
can
selectman
do.
might consider if you sit
Number
down and
two,
talk with him.
for the price of duplicating in that is a very real possibility that could come out of the incentive award grant for you.
Mhm.
That is a possibility.
Well, there's a couple of other things I just wanted to mention. I mean, you know, we're just in a discussion stage
Mhm.
here. But we're trying to say there would be a great advantage if the transport of your programming could be gotten to Soundview's facility over the INET, and here are some of the advantages of that. In addition to not having to do any duplication, you know, I was listening to the problems with your DVD, if you wanted to repeat it and so on. Soundview has plans to archive your programming on a server. And so that would be a great benefit, I think, to the
Be a
to
good
the
backup for
people.
the town.
It'd be a
It would be.
backup for the town, and furthermore, with respect to, you know, when these meetings are over and you're on to other things, these could be archived, and people would still have access to your meetings over the
On the
internet.
website. Over the internet.
Via the website. So there's a lot of good
And I do think
reasons.
there's a great deal of interest in that. It would allow us to webcast the meetings as well
Sure.
as put them out on cable.
Without having to bear
I
that
think what we need
burden.
to understand
Cost.
is how that would operate and,
Mhm.
and what kind of access it would be. I know we've been at the website, this website, and we've seen some of the streaming of Stratford. Your proposal from your side of the table as to what you would do with whatever meetings we do send over, and when, how quickly they would be available, where they would be available,
Okay.
and whether it would be a link that we would always have access to, or whether it's only access while Soundview exists.
It would only be available as long as Soundview exists. Hopefully, if we're not in existence anymore, whoever picks up would continue to carry, because all that equipment and
Mhm.
technology would be transferred to the next provider.
Right.
So
Before we
hopefully
could
that would
consider an
continue.
archive, we'd have to.
Well, for
have
us,
guaranteed
what we're
access to
planning
it.
to do with archiving, we will archive the programs for a period of 1 year.
Mhm.
They're there for a year. So what you would do is, you would go onto our website, Woodbridge is right there, you'd click on Woodbridge, and at the top of Woodbridge, we have your website, which would click you onto your website. Right under that would be the listing of all the meetings that are archived. And they're played in their entirety, they're not streamed.
Video on demand.
Okay.
They're video on demand.
That's what
So
we like
what's
to
the
do.
capacity there? I mean, I don't know how
have-
many meetings we're doing a month now, but we're gonna have
The
quite a
capacity
few.
is,
That's why John's here.
John.
1 year.
Well, every single, if we give you, 20 hours of programming a week, let's say, just picking a number out of thin air, you can do that for a year.
20 hours of original programming, sure.